Hello and welcome to another video. Today I made a family tree for Mary of Teck, the wife of King George V. Yesterday I made a family tree for Alexandra of Denmark, the wife of King Edward VII. Today I'm making the family tree for the wife of King George V. She was the queen consort of England from 1910 to 1936. This is the family tree of Mary of Teck. This is her right over here, not Queen Victoria Mary of Teck. This is her real name, Victoria Mary of Teck. She was known as Mary. Her first name was Victoria, probably after Queen Victoria, maybe. And but her she was known as she was called Mary. Actually, she was nicknamed May, so she was called May, but her name was Mary. She was born May 26th, 1867, and died March 24th, 1953, at the age of 85. Her parents were Francis, Duke of Teck, and Mary Adelaide of Cambridge. Francis was born on August 28th, 1837, and died January 21st, 1900, at the age of 62. Her mother was a little bit older than her father. She was born November 27th, 1833, and died October 27th, 1897, at the age of 63. Mary's paternal grandparents were Alexander of Württemberg and Claudine Rede de Kiss-Reed. Alexander was born September 9th, 1804, and died July 4th, 1885, at the age of 80. Claudine was born September 21st, 1812, and died October 1st, 1841, at the young age of 29. She apparently was riding her horse and she fell off her horse and died shortly after. She was only 29 years old. Mary's maternal grandparents were Adolphus, Duke of Cambridge, and Augusta of Hesse-Kassel. Adolphus was born February 24th, 1774, and died July 8th, 1850, at the age of 76. Augusta was born July 25th, 1797, and died April 6th, 1889, at the age of 91. Adolphus was the son of King George III and the brother of King George IV and William IV. Um, Victoria had three younger brothers: Adolphus Cambridge, Francis of Teck, and Alexander Cambridge. Adolphus was born August 13th, 1868, and died October 24th, 1927, at the age of 59. Francis was born January 9th, 1870, and died October 22nd, 1910, at the age of 40. Alexander was born April 14th, 1874, and died January 16th, 1957, at the age of 82. Mary married was married to King George V. He wasn't king yet when they were married. He was the prince, Prince George, but he was later known as George V, and Mary was later known as Queen Mary. Uh, George was born on June 3rd, 1865, and died January 20th, 1936, at the age of 70. Together, they had six children. Uh, Edward, later known as Edward VIII, Albert, later known as George VI, Mary, Princess Royal, Henry, Duke of Gloucester, George, Duke of Kent, and Prince John. Edward was born June 23rd, 1894, and died May 28th, 1972, at the age of 77. George VI, let's just call him Albert. Albert was born December 14th, 1895, and died February 6th, 1952, at the age of 56. Mary was born April 25th, 1897, and died March 28th, 1965, at the age of 67. Henry was born March 31st, 1900, and died June 10th, 1974, at the age of 74. George was born December 20th, 1902, and died August 25th, 1942, at the age of 39. And John, the youngest and the first to die, was born July 12th, 1905, and died June 18th, 1919, at the age of 13. I think he died of a seizure, maybe. Cause I heard he was a very sickly boy, a sickly child, and so yeah, I think he died from a because he had a lot of seizures. um, Ed, Edward became king after George V died in 1936. And then Edward abdicated in December of that year, and because he wanted to marry Wallace Simpson, and he did, and they wouldn't let him marry a divorced, twice divorced American woman. So he had to abdicate to marry her, and thanks to him, his younger brother Albert became King George VI, and he was married to Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon and had two daughters, Elizabeth and Princess Margaret. Elizabeth was later known as Elizabeth II. She was born April 21st, 1926. Her 100th birthday was about a month ago. She died September 8th, 2022, at the age of 96. I remember her death. I was at school when I remember waking up in that on the morning of September 9th, and I heard the news that Queen Elizabeth died, and I was sad because she was my favorite queen of England of all time. Anyway, she married Philip Mountbatten and had actually they had four children, but Mary of Teck lived to see only two of her granddaughter's children, Charles and Anne. Charles is the current king of England. Um, Elizabeth is wait, we're already at Elizabeth. Uh, and then Princess Margaret was born August 21st, 1930, and died February 9th, 2002, at the age of 71. Mary married Henry Lascelles and had two sons, George Lascelles and Gerald David Lascelles. George was born February 7th, 1923, and died July 11th, 2011, at the age of 88. He married Marion Steen and had a son named David. And Gerald was born August 21st, 1924, and died February 27th, 1998, at the age of 73. And he married Angela Dowding, and they did not have any children yet when his grandmother was still alive. Henry married Alice Montague Douglas Scott, and they had two sons, William of Gloucester and Richard Duke of Gloucester. William was born December 18th, 1941, and died August 28th, 1972, at the age of 30. And Richard was born August 26th, 1944, and is currently 81 years old. Uh, Fun fact: Alice lived to be 102 years old and was the longest living monarch, longest living British royal family member up to today. Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon also lived to be 100, actually 101 actually, but Alice lived to be 102, so she lived the longest. George married Marina of Greece and Denmark and had uh, three children: Edward, Duke of Kent, Princess Alexandra, and Michael of Kent. Edward was born October 9th, 1935, and is currently 90 years old. Alexandra was born December 25th, 1936, and is currently 89 years old and will turn 90 this year. Michael was born July 4th, 1942, and is currently 83 years old. John was never married because he died when he was 13 years old. So that's the whole family tree of Mary of Teck, and let me know in the comments whose family tree you'd like to see in the future, and I would love to see your suggestions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow. See you then. Bye bye.